Right now, in the cool of my kitchen here in Okinawa, I am standing over a wide wooden bowl, and I am grating a bar of soap the way my grandmother grated ginger, slowly, patiently, into fine, pale curls. Beside me sit two simple boxes of white powder that together cost me only a few dollars. In a moment, I will stir these three humble things together, and when I am done, I will have enough laundry soap to wash my clothes for many, many months, perhaps the whole year. And the heavy plastic jugs of detergent that so many of you carry home from the store, again and again, I have not bought one in over 30 years. Let me show you how, and why almost no one will tell you. My name is Kenji Takara. I am from Okinawa, Japan, the islands where people live long, quiet, careful lives, and where the old ways of the household were never thrown away. I am 81 years old. I have washed my own clothes by my own hand for most of my life, first because we were poor, and later because I learned there was no reason to pay a large company for something I could make better and cheaper in my own kitchen. The word that guided me was given to me by my grandmother when I was small: Mottainai. Waste nothing. Honor the true worth of every small thing. A sliver of soap, a spoon of powder, a single coin. Nothing is ever too small to respect. And this morning, I want to hand you something my people have done for generations. A way to wash your clothes clean and soft and fresh for pennies a load. But before the method, you must understand who profits from your not knowing it. Think honestly. How much do you spend on laundry detergent in a year? A jug here, a jug there, and now the little pods, sold to you as modern and easy, at prices that would have made my grandmother laugh out loud. 20 cents? 30 cents? Sometimes more, every single load. Stretch that across a year, across 10 years of retirement, and it becomes hundreds of dollars. And those bright plastic jugs and pods are made by very large companies who earn nothing when an old man stirs his own soap in a wooden bowl, you returning to the shelf again and again. That is their entire business. A person who makes his own is, to them, a problem to be drowned in television commercials that make the simple old ways feel dirty, or backward, or beneath you. But the old ways were never beneath anyone. They were simply free, and so no company ever paid to advertise them. Quick word before I begin, and I won't bring it up again. Everything I share here, there's far more of it than fits in one video. So I gathered it all into one book, the Takara Method, and right now I'm keeping it at a special price, lower than it'll normally be. The link's in the description, or point your phone at the code on screen. That's all. Now let me show you today's. Now, here is the mistake almost everyone makes, and if you get it wrong, the whole thing fails, and you will say, "Kenji, this left my clothes stiff and gray." So please, listen closely. Most people, when they first try to make their own laundry soap, use the wrong soap. They grab a beauty bar from the bathroom, a soft, creamy, moisturizing soap full of oils and lotions meant to stay on your skin. And that is exactly the trouble. A soap designed to leave a soft film on your body will leave that same greasy film on your clothes, load after load, until everything looks dull and feels waxy. That is not the method failing. That is the wrong soap. You must use a plain, hard laundry bar, a pure soap made for cleaning, not for pampering the skin. In America, many people use a bar sold for exactly this, often found near the detergent for about $1. Any simple, oil-free, hard bar soap will do. This one choice is the difference between clothes that come out clean and clothes that come out coated. Get this right, and everything else is easy. So let me give you the method. In order, the way it has been done for a very long time. Step 1. Gather your 3 humble things. You need only 3. 1 bar of plain laundry soap, about $1. 1 box of washing soda, not baking soda, washing soda, a different and stronger cousin, about $4 to $5. And 1 box of borax, also around $4 to $5. That is all. For a household like mine, 1 batch made from these lasts many months, and the boxes themselves stretch across batch after batch, which is how the cost per load falls to just a few pennies against the 20 or 30 cents a store jug costs you. Step 2. Grate the soap. Take your bar and grate it finely, the way you would grate hard cheese, into a bowl. The finer the curls, the better it will dissolve in the wash, and the better it will blend. This is the one part that takes a little patience and a little of your arm, and it is exactly here, in what you do with these soap curls next, that most people go wrong and ruin the whole batch without ever knowing why. Let me show you. Here is where the batch is won or lost. After you grate the soap, you must not simply throw the curls into the powder as they are. If the soap is even a little soft or damp, those curls will clump together in the jar over the weeks into hard little lumps that never dissolve, and you will find them stuck to your clothes at the end of the wash. So do this. Let the grated soap sit out on a plate for a day so it dries and hardens. Better still, if you have a food processor or a blender, pulse the dried curls together with a spoonful of the washing soda until the soap becomes a fine, sandy powder rather than curls. Powder dissolves. Curls clump. This single step is the difference between a batch that lasts beautifully all year and one that disappoints you by the second week. Now, step 3. Mix the 3 together. The old, reliable measure is simple to remember. 2 parts washing soda, 2 parts borax, and 1 part grated soap. So for a batch, you might use 2 cups of washing soda, 2 cups of borax, and 1 cup of your fine grated soap. Stir it together slowly and thoroughly in your bowl until it is one even, pale powder. Then pour it into a jar or an old container with a lid and keep it dry, away from any damp. That is your detergent. It is finished. It cost you only a small part of those boxes, and it will wash load after load after load. Step 4. How much to use, because this is where people waste it. You do not need a great scoop. This soap is concentrated, and more is not better. More only leaves residue. For a normal load, use just 1 tablespoon. For a large or very dirty load, 2 tablespoons, no more. 1 single tablespoon. Think of that. The store wants you pouring a great heavy capful of liquid into every wash, because the faster you empty the jug, the sooner you return to buy another. But your homemade powder asks for only a spoon. That is why it lasts so long, and why it costs so little. A tablespoon of this against a capful of that. The savings are not small. Across a year, for a household like mine, this is the difference between a few dollars and well over 100. Now let me be honest with you about what this does and does not do, because I will never sell you a fairy tale. This mix cleans everyday clothes very well. Ordinary dirt, sweat, the wear of a normal day. It has done so in countless homes for a very long time. But it is a soap, not a modern enzyme detergent, and so it is not the strongest fighter against heavy grease stains or deep-set marks. For those, you treat the stain directly before washing, and I will show you how in a moment. For pennies. Know also that borax is a cleaning mineral, not something to be eaten or breathed as dust. So mix it in a calm space. Keep it well away from children and pets, and simply wash your hands after. Treated with the plain respect you would give any cleaning powder, it is safe and it has served households for well over a century. Now the extra layers, the small things almost everyone overlooks, that make all the difference. First, the thing overlooked most, vinegar in place of fabric softener. The companies sell you a second jug, a softener, to fix the stiffness their own detergent leaves behind. You need no such thing. Pour a small half cup of plain white vinegar into the rinse, where the softener would go. It cuts any leftover soap from the cloth, leaves your laundry soft, and balances away odors. And no, your clothes will not smell of vinegar. The smell vanishes completely as they dry. A large jug of white vinegar costs $1 or $2 and lasts for months. This one trick alone replaces an entire product you have been buying your whole life. Second, sunlight is the oldest bleach and the oldest freshener there is. When the weather allows, dry your laundry outside in the sun instead of in a machine. The sun gently brightens whites. It naturally kills the odors that cling to damp cloth, and it leaves a freshness no bottle can imitate. And it costs you nothing at all. Indeed, it saves you the electricity or gas of the dryer, which for many people is a real and steady bill of its own. My grandmother never once owned a machine to dry a single shirt. The sky did it for free. Third, the stain trick I promised you, a paste of washing soda and water. For a stubborn spot, a collar, a spill, a mark of grease, mix a little of your washing soda with a few drops of water into a paste, rub it gently onto the stain, let it sit a short while, then wash as normal. You already have the washing soda in your batch. It costs you nothing extra, and it saves you yet another product, the special stain spray, that the store would happily sell you in its own little bottle. Now, before I tell you about my grandmother, let me give you a few more small pieces of wisdom that have served me for decades. The kind of thing no company will ever teach you, because there is no jug to sell at the end of it. On fragrance, if you miss it. Many people say to me, "Kenji, but I love the smell of my detergent." I understand, but that heavy perfume is not cleanliness. It is only perfume, added so the jug will smell pleasant on the shelf, and so you will believe the clean comes from the scent. It does not. Clean has almost no smell at all. Still, if you wish for a gentle fragrance, you need not buy a thing. Add a few drops of an essential oil, lavender, lemon, whatever calms you, to your dry powder and stir it through. A small bottle lasts a year or more. Or do as my people did and tuck a sprig of something dried among the folded clothes. The scent should be a small joy you add for pennies, not a costly lie you pay for by the jug. on water, hot and cold. The store wants you to believe you must wash in hot water for clothes to come clean, because hot water and strong detergent go hand in their advertising. But most of the cost of a load of laundry is not the soap at all. It is the electricity or the gas that heats the water. Wash in cold or cool water, and your homemade powder still cleans everyday clothes very well, for it dissolves fine when you have ground it to powder as I taught you. In doing so, you quietly cut one of the largest hidden costs of washing, the heating bill you never think to blame on your laundry. My grandmother washed in whatever the sea and the well gave her, and it was never once too cold to get a shirt clean. On the machine itself, and on filling it, here is a thing few people consider. A half-empty machine wastes the same water, the same power, and the same soap as a full one. So wait, when you can, until you have a proper load before you wash. 2 full loads a week will always cost you less than 4 half-empty ones. And do not overload it either, for clothes crammed too tight cannot move, and clothes that cannot move do not come clean. Fill it well, but not to bursting. Leave room for a hand to slide in at the top. This costs you nothing, and yet across a year, it saves water, power, and soap all at once. Mottainai is not only about the soap in the bowl, it is about the whole act, done with care and thought, so that nothing is spent that need not be, on making your clothes themselves last longer. The cheapest laundry of all is the shirt you do not have to replace. Your harsh detergents, hot water, and the hot tumble of a dryer wear cloth thin far faster than most people know. The lint you empty from the dryer trap is your clothing, slowly turning to dust. Wash gently, in cool water, with a mild soap like ours, and dry in the open air, and your garments will serve you for many more years. I have shirts older than some of my neighbors' grandchildren. This is the deepest saving of all, and it is invisible, because it is money you never had to spend in the first place. And on doing it all with a calm heart, I will tell you something the young ones find strange. I look forward to washing day. There is a quiet in it, the grating of the soap, the warm water, the shirts hung in a straight row, swaying in the sea wind. In a life where a person on a fixed income can feel that so much is decided for him by others, here is one small thing that is entirely his own, done by his own hand, on his own terms. That too is worth something no jug can hold. When you make your own soap and hang your own wash in the sun, you are not merely saving a few dollars, you are taking back one small, honest piece of your own independence. And at my age, my friend, I can tell you there are few feelings richer than that. So do not think of this as a chore I am adding to your week. Think of it as a small return to yourself. The companies took these simple acts from our hands and sold them back to us in plastic. All I am doing is showing you the way to quietly take them back. Let me tell you about my grandmother now, because everything I have handed you, I first received from her. Her name was Kame. When I was a boy, after the war, our village had almost nothing, and washing day was a whole morning's work, done by hand at the water's edge with the other women of the village. My grandmother made her own soap from what little she had, and she guarded every last sliver of it. When a bar of soap grew too small and thin to hold, she did not throw it away. Never. She pressed all the little end slivers together or drop them into a small cloth bag and use them down to nothing. Mottainai, she would say to me, holding up a soap chip no bigger than a coin. This still has work left in it. Who are we to throw away what still serves? I have never forgotten the sight of it. An old woman refusing to waste a piece of soap the size of my fingernail. It was not because she was poor in spirit. It was because she understood the worth of things, and I have tried to live by that ever since. She kept one more thing I want you to know about. A little book she called a kakebo, a household ledger, a book of accounts. In it she wrote, in pencil, every coin that came into our home and every coin that left it. This is a true Japanese tradition, more than 100 years old, and it is the reason we survived those years. At the end of each month, she would study that little book and ask one plain question. What did I spend that I did not truly need? If you begin, even now, to keep such a book, writing down every jug, every pod, every softener and spray you buy for the wash, I promise you will be astonished at what has been quietly leaving your hands for years without your ever seeing it. Now let me step back with you, my friend, because this was never really about soap. It is about something far larger. When you live on a fixed income, on a pension that will not grow, no matter how you wish it, every dollar that leaves your hand for something you could have made yourself is a small piece of your freedom given away. The companies count on you never adding it up. A jug here, a bottle of softener there, a bag of pods, each too ordinary to question, month after month, year after year, until it has quietly become many hundreds of dollars. That money was yours. It could have been a gift for a grandchild, a warm meal, a small comfort, a cushion against a hard month. Instead, it went, load by load, into a plastic jug you never truly needed. The old ways, the grated soap, the 2 white powders, the splash of vinegar, the shirts drying in the sun, are not about being cheap. They are about dignity, about tending your own home with your own 2 hands, the way people did for thousands of years before anyone told them they could not. There is a deep and quiet strength in knowing you do not depend on a store shelf to keep your family in clean clothes, that you can do it yourself, in your own kitchen, for pennies. That is not poverty. That is freedom, and it is among the richest things an old man like me will ever own. My grandmother had almost nothing, and she wanted for nothing at all. That is the secret I most want to leave in your hands today. So this week, try it. 1 bar of soap, 2 boxes of powder, 1 wide bowl and a little patience. Make your first batch, wash 1 load, and feel for yourself what it is to need a little less. Now I would truly like to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, where in the world are you watching from today? What town? What state? What country? I read them all, and it warms this old heart to picture where each of you is sitting as you listen. And tell me one more thing. What did your own mother or grandmother teach you about washing, or mending, or making something last? Share it, so that others may learn it too. That is how the old wisdom stays alive, passed from hand to hand, the way it always has been. And before you go, I have one more secret to share with you soon. There is a common thing sitting in your kitchen at this very moment, something most people pour down the drain or throw in the trash without a single thought. My grandmother saved it in a jar by the window and used it to scrub her pots, polish her home, and save herself a small fortune, and almost no one alive still remembers how. In my next lesson, I will show you exactly what it is and exactly how to use it. Until then, my friend, waste nothing. Honor the small things and take good care of yourself.